For your cheapest and most reliable place to buy your FC25 coins, please go and check out mmoexp.com. Remember to use the code WOLF at the checkout for now a massive 8% off your order. Link is below. Go check them out now. Let's talk about EAFC25 and the old FIFA franchises in general in today's video. Now, I am very fortunate enough that I make money off of this game, so it isn't going to be a rant type of video in terms of you're going to see me shouting, screaming, and all of that stuff. No, I am talking here today from a place of passion. I absolutely love this game and I love Ultimate Team. I think this game mode has the potential to be the best game mode of any game that is out there on the market. But over the last few years, ever since it has gone from FIFA to EAFC, I think this game has gone so backwards. And I'm just going to talk to you today, no script. I'm literally just going to talk about things as they come into my head with where I think EA have gone wrong with this game in terms of general viewership, enjoyment, how much we actually enjoy playing the game now compared to previous years. That's what I'm going to do in today's video. So before we get into that, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you like about this game? Be honest with yourselves, look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself this: what do you actually like about this game, EAFC25 in particular? What do you enjoy about it? I'm going to answer that question for you in terms of my opinion right now. As you look on your screen right here, I am on the Road to Glory account, not my pay to win account. What do I like mainly about EAFC25? That is what you are looking at right on your screen right here, which is a key addition, which is something that I think has actually really helped the game cycle of this game, really, and that is evolutions. What you are looking at, by the way, if any of you don't know, of course, I am an Aston Villa fan, Aston Villa season ticket holder, go to most of the games in a season, blah blah blah. I absolutely love this year that I am able to make an Aston Villa past and present team, which, because of evolutions, is actually very good. Like you see here, this Louis Barry, if any of you watch Orzio, you see that he used to use him. I don't know if he still does. I absolutely love that I'm able to make my Louis Barry as good as he is here. Leon Bailey, because of evolutions, I absolutely love that he is as good as what he is. Ezri Konsa, because of evolutions, I love how good he is on the game. Like, I love that. But, and there is a bad point about that, because of a certain feature this year and last year, which have become really prominent with EAFC now. And I'm going to now talk about this because this is something that I am very passionate about. I absolutely hate this screen right here. I absolutely hate it, YouTube. I really do. I think this has absolutely killed so much enjoyment on EAFC compared to previous FIFAs. And if any of you are not seeing this, or you don't know what I'm talking about, it is play styles. Yes, I absolutely despise play styles. If you are using a striker now on EAFC25 and they don't have one of, if not both, the low driven playstyle and the finesse shot plus playstyle, at least at a silver, with finesse shot definitely a gold, they're pretty much unusable in that striker position. I absolutely despise that. I always think to the good old days of FIFA, where if a striker was quick, that is pretty much all you needed from your striker. And if you knew how to shoot inside the box, they would score. But because of playstyles now in the game, that is not the direction that EA have gone with. If you are using a striker that doesn't have finesse shot or low driven, they are pretty much unusable. If you are using a cam that has zero passing playstyles, guess what? They are going to be absolutely dreadful in that cam position. And that is something that I do not understand. Actually, I understand actually why EA have gone down that route. They have gone down that route because it then makes the top tier cards with the top tier playstyles way more expensive, which then means you are more likely to buy FC points, blah blah, which then of course gives EA more revenue. That is why they've done that, but I categorically think that it is an absolute shambles of a feature, really. I absolutely hate it. If you are using a CDM and they don't have anticipate or intercept, you will manually intercept the ball with your player, but the player's touch will just balloon off the player. I don't like that. I think it is such a bad feature that EA have done that I don't really understand now how we go back to without playstyles. I mean, me personally, I would just remove playstyles full stop. I think that is what they should do, but EA aren't going to do that. Have you ever seen a feature added where they've then gone backwards with it? I don't really think I do. Now, another feature is actually the formation you're looking at right on your screen right here. And this kind of like entails into something which I think is actually a bit of a thing. And it is, where is roles? There. Roles. This is was it a new feature this year? I think it was, yeah. A new feature this year on FC25 was the roles, which basically means Louis Barry can only play as a striker, left mid or a left wing. If I was to go and play him cam, or Ollie Watkins, shapeshifter as a striker, they would be near enough completely unusable in that position. And I don't really understand why EA have done that. I think they did it because last year, for example, everyone would just set up in a formation in-game at the start of the game to get the max chem, and then you would switch up into, for example, the 4-3-2-1 last year was the most prominent formation. I think EA didn't like that, but my personal opinion on the roles is I think it should be absolutely scrapped. Playstyles and roles for me really have killed my enjoyment, my just general enjoyment really on FC25. I don't like the fact that you are shoehorned into positions. For example, the 4-2-1-3, the formation that I use in my Aston Villa past and present, because it's the most ratty formation, and EA know it's the most ratty and the most meta formation in terms of the general community, right? I think in the pro scene it's not, but most 99.9% of players playing EAFC25 are professional FIFA players, right? So EA then released most central midfielders now, which can play CDM. Why do they do that? Because most people run around with a 2 CDM formation. Now, something as well, which is a little bit of a, I've not really seen many people talk about this actually, is something that has happened now over the last few weeks, which I don't like. So as we go into my main team on my RTG, and it all came about, was Butragueno the first one? But anyway, so we had a Butragueno, a Peter Cech and a Yashin that dropped in the SBC section. Now SBCs used to always be very, very, very good. They were a really good feature that got added in FIFA 17, and I absolutely loved them. But they dropped a Butragueno SBC, or for example, I will then just talk about a Debriz. But then, so you had to complete the SBC, but the card was basically half completed. I don't understand why EA did that at all. I really, really, really don't. So you would then have to give up 300k to complete that Butragueno SBC. You would then have to go into the evolutions and then pay either with FIFA points or with coins another big amount of coins to then get the Butragueno to be the best version of themselves. Now, why do I not like that? Because it sets a bad and worrying precedent for next year with FC26. Are we now going to see more and more SBCs that get dropped that are like basically half cards? They're half cards. The card is half completed or half meta, half usable. And then you then have to go and spend another 500k, 2,000 FC points to then get the card to its best form, which you could argue it should be dropped at with the SBC. Now, I don't understand why EA have done that. I really, really, really don't. Well, I mean, actually, like with the playstyles, I do understand why they've done that. They've done that to try and get more revenue out of each user that plays the game. So I actually understand why they've done that. But I've not seen many people complain about this yet. But trust me, EA will know. They will have seen how many people have completed that, blah, blah, blah. They will know, we've got ya. EAFC25 revenue customers, we have got you hook, line and sinker. Yes, you have completed it. Which means for next year in FC26, I fully expect this to be way more prominent, where a card will drop as an SBC, but the card is only half complete. I don't like that. I really, really, really don't. And these are little points that I don't like. Now, as we then move into another mode, which I absolutely hate and I don't like, it is Division Rivals. Yes, Division Rivals. Now, I think this mode now just needs to go. I really do. I think it is such a bad mode. It's so unenjoyable when you are playing it. The mode, it's just bad, YouTube, isn't it? It's so bad to play. When you're playing it, it's unenjoyable. You're watching it and you're playing it, and everyone that you're playing is of the similar level to you, because that's how Division Rivals works. And it is just not an enjoyable experience, because you're playing against people. For example, I'm in Elite. I am playing against people that are just spamming left, right and centre, the abuse, the Travellas, the player locks. Although I do abuse a lot of player locks, but they're just using and abusing these things right here, and it is so unenjoyable to play. And how do we go back to that? And I always go back to, you know, for example, the FIFA 16 days, FIFA 17 days, FIFA 15, 14, 13, when you just had the old divisions system as it was. I absolutely loved that. I think that was absolutely brilliant, because you would just come on to play and you would have fun when you are playing it. And that's the key thing. You would have fun when you are playing it. I think we need to go back to that, because Division Rivals for me is not enjoyable. But as we then move into Foot Champions. Now, Foot Champs, I think this should be the mode that everyone plays all day, every day. I think Foot Champs is actually the mode that should be the most played mode on the game. I think Foot Champs is a brilliant idea, even though you get annoyed in it. And I don't really get annoyed in it now, because you don't have a top 100 leaderboard to chase like when I was playing to like really sweat, and I was a professional FIFA player and stuff like that. I would be grinding my butt off to get top 100, top 200 and stuff like that. That was the good old days of Foot Champs. I don't like the ranking system, and I don't like the 15 games. I think Foot Champs should be a 20-30 game. But that, again, is just my personal opinion. That is just my humble opinion of Foot Champions, though. I think that Weekend League, or whatever you want to call it, Weekend League Foot Champions. I don't think it's called Weekend League anymore, because it's not on the weekend. You can play up to a Wednesday morning and stuff like that. I think that should be a 7-day week game mode. Like, you can enter as many accounts on it as you want, and Foot Champs is just constantly there. But I go back to the Rivals segment. Why do I think Foot Champs should be like that? Because Rivals is an absolute hellhole. It's so unenjoyable to play. And that kind of brings me on to another point of general gameplay now. General gameplay on the game. What do I think of EAFC25 and now EAFC24, should I say, and FC25 that we're playing now in terms of general gameplay? Now, FC25 for me, until they dropped a massive patch on it just before Team of the Year, I think it was hands down, without any shadow of a doubt for me. And I know a lot of people say this, but at this point I really did believe this until we had the big patch, was the worst game, well, FIFA FC game, whatever you want to call it, that I have ever played, without any shadow of a doubt. The patch where they then made the game a lot quicker and a lot more responsive, they dropped that just before Team of the Year, definitely helped me with my general enjoyment of the game. 100%. That definitely saved the game for me, because believe you me, up until Team of the Year, I was really thinking, man, do I even want to bring out content on my YouTube channel for this game anymore? Like, I'm struggling to play it. You know, I'm working, blah, blah, blah. I get back from work and then I do my YouTube videos. I play FIFA, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, man, do I really want to do this? I don't. And then luckily the patch dropped, which did help me out a lot in terms of just my general enjoyment. But I think EA are in a sticky situation here where they actually don't know what they want to do. I think, well, actually, tell a lot. I think EA know what they want to do, but they're in two ways to do it. EA now, in my opinion, want this game, FIFA FC, whatever you want to call it, to be a realistic simulator. That's what I think EA want from this. They want the career mode, blah, blah, blah. They want all of that. Kind of like a Football Manager-esque, right? That is what I think EA want. The problem is, a lot of their core game players, like their core user base, i.e. me, we want the game to be arcadey, fast, responsive. So EA kind of like, they go half and half with both measures, which is then why you're left with the bit of a mess that you're left with now, where it's kind of like, it's half real life sim, but then half arcade, rather than going all one way the other, where it's just proper simulator, so it's really slow, blah blah blah, or then like fully arcade, where it's really fast, really responsive, you know, you got skill moves, blah blah blah, kind of like FIFA 19. FIFA 19 was where I actually think the franchise really changed for the worse, I will say now. So FIFA 19 was where they introduced the green timing, the goalkeeper movement. It's where the pro scene, actually, and I was a pro player at that point, that's where the pro scene was really at its peak. Think of like Prime Text. That is where a lot of people actually did also watch the pro scene, right, if you then compare it to now. But that game drop, FIFA 19, is where I think we have had constant negative game after game after game, because EA brought in a lot of the stuff now which I disagree with. I don't like green time shots. I don't. Even though I green time all the time, blah blah blah, I don't like it. I don't like keeper movement, even though I use and abuse keeper movement myself. Of course I do, to get rank 1 in foot champs, blah blah blah. I don't like it. I don't think these things should be in the game. Think back to like FIFA 17, FIFA 18, FIFA 16, them pre-foot champs, well, not pre-foot champs, but them pre-FIFA 19 times. If you got into the box, you would score a low-driven shot because your opponent couldn't move the keeper, but there was then a skill gap to then get into the box at that situation. So the game was arcadey, but the way that you would score goals were realistic. You know, you think of most real-life football, of course, an Aston Villa fan myself, most of our goals from under Unai Emery, we are getting down the byline, we are cutting back for a tap-in. That is how we score a lot of our goals under Unai Emery, right? But that is, FIFA 16, 17 and 18 were realistic in that sense, that most goals were scored from inside the box. One-on-one situations, low driven across the keeper, that would then be a goal. Think of FC25 now as we play it. The easiest way to score on this game is to green time Trivela it from 40 yards out. That is way, way, way more successful than scoring inside the box. And that did change about a month or so ago when they brought in the low-driven playstyle. That did change. 100% low-drivens now are very, very, very successful in the box. But I then take it back to this. Low-drivens are only successful really inside the box if you then have this dreaded playstyle. Again, going back to the playstyles. Playstyles for me this year have really been the root of all evil. I don't like the fact how playstyle reliant we are now on FC25. Player cards now, in terms of like their face stats, are completely irrelevant. My Louis Barry here, Evo, 95 pace, 96 shooting, 94 dribbling. That would be an unbelievable card back in old FIFAs because we didn't have playstyles. But what's the first thing you do now when a new promo drops? You go straight in and look at their playstyles. That's the first thing everyone does now. What playstyles have they got? How many playstyle pluses have they got? What silver playstyles have they got? My player can't bloody intercept a ball or tackle properly unless they've got the raccoon and the bloody lead symbol thing there for intercept. Like, it's completely backwards. It negates the skill gap of the player using the controller. Like me using the controller, if I put my defensive midfielder in the way of a pass, I should get rewarded for that, not then make the touch go a million miles into Narnia in space because they don't have the intercept or intercept plus playstyle. That's just so backwards. And I think this year has really been the root of all evil in my humble experience. But I'm going to wrap it up there, and please let me know in the comment section, YouTube, what your opinions are on FC25. I really want to know what you think of it, because this isn't a rant video. This is just my general thoughts on the game. You know, the title of the video will be something like, let's talk about FC25. Like, I just want to talk about it and get some feedback in the comment section from you. What do you think of this game? Please let me know in the comment section, YouTube. That is going to be the end of the video. Smash that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button to my channel. That would mean the world to me. Thank you for watching. Remember, like I always say, spread the love and positivity. PMA, positive male attitude. Peace out. One love.